Hello everyone, I'm your presenter for today's session. My name is Mohammad Rehan and I'm a functional consultant at AXPulse Consulting. Here at AXPulse, we have teams of proficient consultants and developers working together to provide quality focused services such as Dynamics AX and CRM implementation, technical support, and customization of various standard functionalities. The product I'm demonstrating today is the Advanced Payroll Tax Engine, which works seamlessly with the tax disconnection customization. The core benefit of this customization is that the tax rules and calculation codes are defined, and the monthly tax liability of a worker is automatically posted to the pay statement. Without any further ado, I'll be jumping to a brief demonstration of how this customization is configured. I'm working in Contoso environment and workers have already been set up to represent various text bands that will be configured later on in this presentation. The customization is placed in the payroll module under the setup tab as advanced taxation. These are the various elements of this customization. The first element that we have to configure is the tax categories. Tax categories represent various taxable sources within an organization. For example, local employees, overseas employees, or in certain jurisdictions, employer is liable to contribute a proportionate amount in relation to the workforce employed. I'll be using local employees as an example here. We have to associate a calculation code which we will be configuring later on. We have to define the legal entity and the vendor group and the main account associated with payroll tax expense. The next part of configuring this customization is to define the tax components. This application is pretty flexible and can adapt to payroll tax rules applicable in various jurisdictions, as different tax components which contribute towards tax liability can be defined here. We know that various earning codes and benefits, also known as perquisites, provided by an employer can either be taxable, exempt, or even exempt up to a certain extent, depending upon the rules and regulations applicable in the operating environment of the organization. Therefore, by defining them as text components, we can apply different set of rules and sub-rules later on in the calculation code. Other examples of text component can include gross income, statutory income, chargeable income, earning code, accommodation, earning code benefit, medical benefit. We know that accommodation and medical benefit in different countries, there is different applicable rules to these earning codes. Now the next part is to configure the tax rules. Tax bands of various jurisdictions can easily be embedded into this customization through tax rules. If we talk about tax bands, we know that in Malaysia there is like 11 tax bands, almost 11 tax bands. In Egypt there is like 5 tax bands, and in Pakistan there is a total of 12 tax bands available. Therefore, this element of the customization, we can embed those tax bands to this customization. Here, the rule describes that if the statutory income is less than 10,000, the employee is bound to fall into the first tax band, which is known as the lower class, which represent the operations group of the organization. Whereas if the statutory income is above 10,000 or below 20,000, the employee will fall into the middle class, representing the administration group, whereas the higher class or the senior management group, any statutory income which is above 20,000, the employee will fall into the higher class tax band. Later, we have to associate or attach the tax rule to different Rule groups can help to filter the tax rules. Different rule groups can be like income based, marital status based, number of dependents based, resident status based, etc. etc. The last part of configuring this customization is to define the calculation codes. This is the calculation hub or the brains of this customization. Here we are able to apply the various variable percentages applicable to each tax band. These checkboxes represent various functionality such as in various countries. In certain countries, tax liability is calculated with respect to annual taxable income. Therefore, any increment to salary paid to an employee within that fiscal year, the employee's taxable salary may fall into a higher tax band. Therefore, these checkboxes can assist the user in those situations and can spread the tax liability over the period of remaining months within that fiscal year. The second part of the calculation code is to define the formula. Here you can see I'm defining the tax component gross income. Here you can see uh, gross income includes earning code, regular, medical allowance, and car allowance. Whereas uh, we can also have other earning codes attached. But here I am considering that the employer pays salary to the employee with these three earning codes attached. The second part is to define the statutory income. Here you can see different rules and regulations are applicable. For this demonstration, I'm taking an assumption that a personal deduction of 2000 is applicable to each tax band, whereas after deducting 2000 from the gross income will arrive at the statutory income from employment. Therefore, you can see the formula from I'm deducting 2000 from the gross income. Finally, the chargeable income. To define the chargeable income, you can see I have got different rule group. I have the rule group and different rule IDs attached here. The lower class, I'm assuming that 10% is being deducted. For the middle class, I'm taking a very uh, simple example that 20% is being deducted, and from the higher class, 35% is being deducted. This pretty much sums up the simplified rules that I'm assuming for this demonstration. Okay, I've already set up 3 employees, and this is the earning codes. This is the salary earning code that he is getting from his employer: 5000 regular, 3000 medical allowance, and 3000 as car allowance. The gross income will be 11,000. After deducting 2000 personal deduction, the statutory income will be 9,000, whereas the chargeable income will be 9,000. Because I'm not taking any tax reliefs, um, let's take out let me show you how the customization runs. The first thing that you have to do is to disconnect the standard AX text functionality. This is done through the setup, payroll parameters, and the text tab. I am disabling the text engine. For reference dates, I have to define the fiscal period here. I'll be taking Washington DC, and then I will disconnect the standard AX text engine. If I go into workers, let me check the name, Kelvin. Here you can see I have already set up this worker. The next part is to attach the text category to this employee. Remember, we defined the text category. Here I have associated the text category to this employee. I will take out an earning statement of say August 2017. The other employee is Gary. Here you can see the same text category is applied to him. Earning statement of August, and the last employee is Iman. Okay, I've already taken out the earning statement for the three employees. Okay, Kelvin, let me release the earning statement. Finally, we are going to see the pay statement of the employee. Here you can see the employee is being paid through three earning codes, no benefits, and the tax calculation the employee has to pay 900 as seen here. The chargeable income is 9,000, 10% sums up to 900, whereas Gary is being paid an income of 1,250. Yep, and 4,500 as the benefits. He has to pay an annual liability of 3,900, and similarly, Ivan, which is representing the higher tax band, has to pay an amount of 10,521. This pretty much sums up the presentation. Please provide us with your with the tax rules and regulations applicable in your country, and we'll be more than happy to provide feedback to you. Our consultants at AXPulse will be pleased to help out and provide feedback to the rules and regulations applicable in your external environment. Thank you for viewing and have a nice day.